What makes the Colosseum so challenging? I believe it's the modifiers. But what if you had no control at all over what modifiers you had to take? With the use of a blur screen third-party program, I can blur and colorblind the modifiers in the modifier selection before it pops up, as well as after the selection leaves with a single keybind. So with that being said, here's taking on the Colosseum completely blind. Okay, I've tested this a lot, but let's make sure it works first. Okay, it does. Well, we know the first selection order is always the same, so I'm definitely going to be picking Blasphemy because I have a feeling it's going to get a lot harder in the later waves, and I think Blasphemy might help counteract that a little bit. I think the modifiers we definitely do not want in the later waves is definitely Shockwave or Red Flag, mixed with probably Quartet or Totemic would be miserable. Now, I have experience with every modifier in the Colosseum, however, I absolutely do not have experience with some of them mixed together. And this Colosseum run made me realize why some modifiers do not mix at all. I think our strategy is that we have no strategy. I can barely see my mouse with the blur. But okay, we picked Blasphemy 2, which might have been our best outcome, but we might regret that in the later waves, I think. It took me a bit of time, but I was thinking bringing a melee only setup is my best bet because this way I have a Blood Fury for healing and a lot of space for prayer restore. Alright, and that's wave 2 completed, and honestly, so far it's feeling like a normal collar run. Nothing's really that different, and I can't put too much thought into the selection process, so number 3 is honestly just calling my name. Oh wow, I take that back. Okay, I did not want Quartet this early. That is really bad if I do get Red Flag later. I think what's gonna make this challenge so tough is that I only have about 3 seconds, I would say, after I select a random modifier to prepare myself with what to do. And knowing me, panic mode might even set in. Now that we pulled Quartet super early, I'm extremely worried about pulling Red Flag later because those two modifiers mixed together are absolutely brutal. Alright, wave 3's done. Not too bad, but I'm definitely getting worried about future selections. I mean, any of these options could be Myopia, which would be an incredible pick for me because I have a melee only setup. Alright, well, we got Blasphemy 3, and I don't hate it, but at the same time, that also means we removed a modifier from the selection pool and could pull something a lot more difficult. I think with a melee only setup, we get a lot of opportunity for healing, which is awesome. But if we can't manage to pull easy modifiers like Solar Flare or Myopia, then our run is going to be extremely hard. I mean, wave 4 was kind of just a breeze. I think our modifiers so far on a scale of 1 to 10 is like a 6, mostly because Quartet has the opportunity to just screw us over later on. And once again, there's just no process for the selection thing. I'm just going to pick a random one. Alright, well, we got Manti Mayhem, which is not really the greatest. There's a lot of other modifiers I'd much rather have, especially if we get Manti Mayhem 3, it's going to be pretty rough. With waves 1 through 6, once you've done the Colosseum so many times, I think it starts to become second nature and everything just starts to flow really well. But starting wave 7, I think that's really where the challenge begins. So when I was first recording this, I knew it was going to be difficult and I was prepared for that. But I was not preparing to take on quite literally the hardest modifiers in the entire Colosseum. I think for good reason the OSRS wiki recommends to not take certain modifiers even for experienced players, and I think we're about to find out why. Alright, well, wave 5 was pretty solid. I mean, nothing super challenging yet, but I'm aware of what modifiers I guess could still pop up. Again, with the selection process, there's just no strategy at all. You just gotta get super lucky here. Of course, I picked Totemic, one of the worst and most difficult modifiers. I mean, I have some experience with this modifier, but it's only wave 6, and we already have Quartet and Totemic. Luckily, I ended up getting a really good solve here. I mean, I can just kill the mage first. Actually, let's kill the meleeer first. Then we can kill the mage and manticore together. Then we can kill the ranger and the other shaman, and it'll be super easy to deal with. Totemic on these early waves aren't really difficult, it just makes things a lot more annoying to deal with, and the fight lasts a lot longer. So we can wait for a totem to pop up here. Okay, yeah, there it is. These totems have 1 HP, and they just spawn when an enemy is below 50% health. They can be used to our advantage sometimes. We need to heal with our Blood Fury. But honestly, it just becomes more brutal than anything in the later waves because you may need to be prayer flicking multiple enemies and still find time to destroy a totem. Alright, wave 6 is pretty much done. Now we need to start getting worried because Red Flag is on the table. I'm not going to put any thought into this selection. I just want to pick fast and just deal with my own consequences. Okay, we got Manti Mayhem 2, which is actually horrible because that means we can get Manti Mayhem 3 in any of the future waves, which I really do not want. Luckily, we have everything pretty much solved for us. The Manticore has a range, mage, and melee pattern, so it's super easy to solve. We can take out the mage or then the meleeer, and then the Ranger and Manticore will already be solved up for us. Now, looking at our modifiers already, I'm praying we do not get Red Flag, Dynamic Duo, Volatility, or Manti Mayhem 3. I'm really hoping we get Myopia or Solar Flare to cut us a break, but honestly, it's not looking so good. Wave 7 wasn't really that bad, honestly. We did a really good job with the solve, which was pretty nice, and also lucky. I don't think Totemic and Quartet have really had the opportunity to shine yet, but now we are heading into Wave 8, which I think things are going to get a lot more challenging. And I don't know why, but number 1 was just sticking in my head this entire wave, so I'm just going to pick that one. And of course, we get Manti Mayhem 3, one of the modifiers I specifically mentioned I did not want. Luckily, from what I see so far, though, it's not a horrible solve for this wave. But we still have 3 more waves of this, and we have to deal with Quartet and Totemic on top of it. I think for this, we need to just deal with the Minotaur first, so we can pull him out towards us. Oops, I got my prayers wrong. See, this is Manti Mayhem already taking a toll on me, because I literally never take it. I just want to mention, I'm pretty certain that Totemic, Quartet, and Manti Mayhem 3, which is 3 out of the 4 modifiers we have, are not recommended whatsoever by the OSRS wiki. Oops, I almost just died. I was too focused on the totem, I didn't even see that Ranger attack. And for a solve like this, with the Mage being the last attack for the Manticore, we have to do something called a Z-step solve, where we step out to attract the Manticore, kind of like this, and then go back to attack the Major, which will put their attacks on tick if I did it right, which I did. Okay. Hopefully our Blood Fury can heal us a little bit. If not, I don't mind using a brew here. We have a few extra. Now with Wave 8 coming to an end, I'm really hoping we don't get Bees, Dynamic Duo, or Red Flag, because that would absolutely ruin our run. I'll even take Volatility at this point, even though I'm doing melee only Colosseum, but I guess we'll see. Yeah, so I ended up getting Red Flag, making this one of the hardest Colosseum runs I have ever done, if not the hardest. We are looking at Quartet, Manti Mayhem 3, Totemic, and Red Flag, only going into Wave 9. Okay, I actually have no words for this. I figured this was going to happen to me knowing my luck. Now I need to figure out how I'm going to solve waves 10 and 11, but I mean for this wave, luckily here I can just deal with the Fremies and deal with the Manticore, then the Minotaur if I'm quick enough. The Minotaur should be coming out any second now. Okay, sweet. And for those of you who don't understand why Quartet, Totemic, and Red Flag should never be mixed, kind of like I'm doing right now, it's because the goal of Red Flag is that you need to deal with the Freminic at the start immediately, and then also deal with whatever is south of the pillar, like the Manticore here, before the Minotaur even comes out and kind of just chases you around. Now again, for anyone learning, this is just how you do that Z-step solve again. You just simply step out, attract the Manticore, and then go right on the Ranger, since it's the last attack from the Manticore. Alright, and now we are entering the 2 hardest waves of the Colosseum, and I think Red Flag is about to actually get 10 times harder because of one single enemy, and that's the Shaman, of course. He now spawns with the Minotaur, which can get annoying if I don't off-tick the Minotaur in time. Once again, here we are deciding our fate with 3 selections. I'm going to choose number 1 and hope for the best. Awesome. Okay, we actually got Frailty. That is not too bad. We have to solve the Fremies pretty quickly here. Just kind of deal with them and then deal with whatever's south of the pillar, which would be the Ranger before the Minotaur comes out. Because this wave, a Minotaur and a Shaman are coming out. Okay, we actually didn't do too bad there. We just need to off-tick the Shaman and Minotaur when they reach us. And I know I can let the Shaman attack me like that. And then we can attack the Minotaur, and now they are off-ticked, which is perfect. Sweet, so now that the Minotaur is dead, we can literally just go kill both Manticores individually and just deal with Totemic as it comes. This is why Totemic is super difficult in later waves, because right now I'm dealing with a Manti Mayhem 3 with 2 Manticores, and I just am struggling to find time to hit the totem. Alright, so this is wave 10 done. Now I have to mentally prepare for wave 11, and I don't even know what the last modifier is going to be. Yeah, so before I start this might be one of the most chaotic waves of the Colosseum you will ever see. I wasn't even able to speak much because panic started to set in after some misclicks. Alright, wave 11 modifier, I need you to help us out here. Do we just play like eeny meeny miny mo for this one? I don't know, but here we go. Oh, we got Frailty too. That's actually not the worst option. It's not the greatest, but it's not the worst. So this already got a lot harder because we have to deal with the Fremies and then the Manticore before the Minotaur comes out. And I'm misclicking like crazy. No. Manti Mayhem 3 is kicking my ass right now. And I'm attacking the Archer with a Venator bow. This is not good. And the only way I'm going to be able to get that Manticore over to me is stepping into the stack, which I don't want to do, but I have to. Now I have to kill the Manticore before the Minotaur and Shaman come out, or else I'm screwed. And, oh my god, what a horrible misclick. Oh my god, I might actually just be so screwed here now. No. my god, no way. My only option is destacking here. Oh my god. Blasphemy is actually screwing me right now, though. Oh, I think this is where it ends. I only have one sip of brew, and I'm poisoned. Wait, the Major's in Cycle. Wait, the Minotaur and Major in Cycle with the Minotaur. Oh my god. Oh my god, I have it. 1 HP. Blood Fury, please. Blood Fury, please. Oh my god, yes, yes, yes. Keep healing, keep healing. I am at a loss for words. I was 1 HP on the north and the south pillar, both fully poisoned by the Manticore. I have no words how I was able to escape that. Not only that, but I'm pretty sure I have the run. I just have to do a Z solve for the last stack. I'm sorry, I'm at like a genuine loss for words. I had to solve Totemic there as well with the Minotaur. I just have no idea what to even say after that. This might screw me, but I have to pull that Shaman over to me. Okay, almost died again here. The Shaman is now closer, luckily, so we can try and heal off of that. Perfect. I think the weight of these modifiers is really getting to my head because, wow, that was insane. Okay, and again, we have to do our Z solve. And of course, Totemic pops up. That's why dealing with Totemic with these stacks are just absolutely frustrating. Quite literally, just to get that totem, I have to do 2 different off ticks, which is just so frustrating. Z solving like this isn't really a problem for me. However, I am at 39 health with 0 bruise, meaning whatever I can heal here would be huge because I'm stuck at a maximum cap of 80 health because of Frailty 2. Meaning I have to go into Soul with 80 health and no bruise at all. So I need to pull off a perfect Soul. From what my friends and I were able to count, I got chanced 11 times there. Meaning I need to pull off a perfect Soul because we had to use all of my bruise. What a freaking insane wave 11 that was. Not only do we have to enter Soul with 0 bruise in a maxed cap of 80 health, we still have to deal with Totemic, Quartet, and another modifier we haven't even found out what it is yet. And now we have wave 12 of the Colosseum against Soul, which is the final boss for a Quiver and an Echo Crystal, which I guess is pretty cool. But I'm just super excited. We need to pull off a perfect Soul in order for this to be an incredible video, and I'm so excited. Oh, and of course we managed to pull Relentless on the last modifier pick. That is horrible for us because if Soul hits us, it ignores 33% of our defense, meaning we get hit harder and we have no method of healing. So we absolutely need to have a perfect Soul here. Now we just dealt with Quartet, which is super nice. It only just spawns 1 Fremennik at the beginning of Soul, which is awesome. However, we still have Totemic at phase 4. This is the first special attack, just the triple special attack. I just have to put my melee prayer on every 3 ticks, and we do perfectly. Awesome, that's sweet. All right, the next phase is starting, which means the grapple attack can come now, so we just have to be prepared for that. All right, we ended up getting the triple special attack again. All we have to do is pray correctly. Okay, all good. All right, this scythe hit should put us under 50% health. Perfect, so now Totemic should trigger. Up, and there's our totem. So just destroy the totem and then back on Soul. Okay, everything went pretty smooth. I actually think I'm about to pull off a perfect Soul on one of the most insane runs I have ever seen in my life. Oh my god, we are done. Look at our modifier selection and the order they were taken as well. We decided to take Quartet, then Manti Mayhem 3, then Totemic and Red Flag all simultaneously. That is insane. I just want to preface this by saying I am so extremely happy that I was able to complete this challenge the very first try, and I had about 10 of my close friends in my Discord call watching me, and it was the coolest thing ever. And when I undeafened, everyone was so excited for me, and I thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed.